Texas lawmakers asked 2 state agencies to help fix the power grid. One made some changes to help us get through this winter, while the other agency has yet to act. The KVUE defenders dug into what happened after last year's deadly February winter storm. Investigative reporter Erica Proffer tells us how far we need to go.
That first night without power was really terrifying.
In February 2021, a winter storm killed 246 people.
Feels like we're just waiting for the next one.
161 people froze to death. The state's power grid failed them. Failed people like Joe Galvan, who needed his insulin refrigerated.
So this is our driveway at one point.
His children warm.
Horrifying to think how many more people are going to die because of inaction.
The Public Utility Commission regulates power plants, transmission lines, and utility companies. The Railroad Commission regulates natural gas. The 2 agencies are supposed to work together to keep our power grid strong.
Weak oversight.
Lawmakers passed 24 laws.
Poor communication.
Aimed to fix power problems.
And a lack of coordination.
Senate Bill 3 shows the majority of the plans. It put most responsibility on PUC's shoulders. A new set of commissioners wrote weatherization rules.
This meeting of the Public Utility Commission
and set penalties for their side of operations. It's not one size fits all. Commissioners will let some companies skip certain standards. For example, wind turbines shouldn't have windbreaks added.
Just take care of people, because that's what's at stake. Human lives.
No stone we left unturned. There's no scenario we didn't examine or reform we didn't vet.
We pressed the PUC chairman, Peter Lake, about the commission's work.
The market reliability piece is being implemented over time, over the next several years. Most importantly, the operational reliability is in place now.
Here's what that means to you, your bill, and the chance of keeping power. For now, these 2011 federal weatherizing recommendations are a requirement. Anyone under PUC's jurisdiction had to submit a sworn affidavit they would do the work. 8 companies didn't submit. Their fines total $7.5 million. The Electric Reliability Council of Texas, ERCOT, manages the state grid. They keep supply and demand balanced. Their report to commissioners shows inspectors checked 324 facilities in December.
What's being done to protect Texan lives?
Part of the reason the grid failed was because the electricity market runs on supply and demand. Companies can charge more when the supply is low. PUC changed that.
That's building in a reliability requirement for retailers to have on-demand electricity for the first time ever. So the retail companies that send you a bill for electricity each month will be, for the first time ever, responsible for ensuring that that is on-demand electricity,
instead of paying the market rate when supply is low.
They've never had that responsibility before.
The max rate we paid on the open market during a crisis was $9,000 per megawatt hour. PUC lowered that cap to $5,000. But they don't know the long-run financial impact. Instead of paying top dollar once supply drops too low, power companies now get paid in increments as the supply starts to drop. Lake says it leads to more reliability.
Stay as far away from crisis as possible, so that's more generation sooner.
Lawmakers let natural gas companies get away from having to weatherize this winter, even though natural gas companies had issues before the storm began. Nearly half of the state's power relies on natural gas.
Not all these facilities are the same.
Commissioner Jim Wright is one of 3 commissioners at the Texas Railroad Commission, one of 3 who makes rules to regulate natural gas. The trio didn't create weatherization rules and won't until the power grid is mapped. Only critical areas for natural gas will be required to weatherize. Not everyone, not like PUC's side of electricity. We asked Wright about it.
Why couldn't you just say, this is one standard, everybody has to do it, whether you're critical or not?
Well, again, there's already people up in North Texas that have weatherization that they do just because they every year experience more cold weather than people in South Texas. So if I say, hey, you got to do this, this is the definition of weatherization, it's going to be different, I think, geographically for Texas when we go to define and adopt those. And I think that's why mapping is so critical in that.
Wright said everyone they inspected had voluntarily prepped for winter. Their inspections covered 3/4 of all gas storage sites, plus some processing plants and gas pipelines.
Even with the best standards in place, there's going to be outages.
Todd Staples with the Texas Oil and Gas Association lobbies for the oil and gas industry.
Yeah, I think there's a really big misconception about the way oil and gas operators prepare for the winter.
He said most gas wells are unmanned and can take hours to reach. But that's not the only distance problem.
If you want access to natural gas, you need to look at storage.
Specifically storage, he said, closer to populated areas. Storage wasn't an issue during the February storm. Pipelines transport gas from too far away, he said. Wright agrees.
The pipeline system here in Texas has to stay pressurized.
Gas loses pressure over distance, so companies use compressors along the route. During the storm, pressure dropped. Usually, either an unmanned wellhead froze or a compressor's electricity got cut.
When the electricity was cut off in a lot of those areas, we didn't have the ability to keep that pressure in the system.
If the gas system had not fallen, we would have had some blackouts, but not as many, and not as bad, and not as long.
Michael Weber is a professor in energy resources at the University of Texas at Austin.
We are putting all the scrutiny and pressure on the power system to winterize the power plants, to do inspections or new regulations or new penalties, that kind of thing, and that's reasonable, but we're not putting the same pressure on the gas system.
Joe wrote to Lake and the other PUC commissioners, told his story.
Well, so all I can do is just be loud and annoying.
Do you think they heard you?
No. I mean, I guess you're here. Yeah. I didn't think that would happen.
We will continue to listen.
We asked Joe if he had any question for the PUC chairman. You can find that question and the response online with this story at KVUE.com. With the KVUE Defenders, I'm Erica Proffer.
Thanks, Erica. And if you missed part 1 of the Defenders investigation, you can watch it right now on KVUE.com.